Joined with us, as has become the off-season tradition, is Ed Piotrowski.
What was your reaction when you saw a life-size bobblehead coming down Main Street?
It's the only tornado I've ever seen with my own two eyes develop on 8th Avenue North. Judge is a phenomenal player. Glad he stayed with the Yankees. Huge. Oh my gosh. He is a beast. You feel like you're being stalked by a turtle during hurricane seasons.
What weather event that you've covered in your career has been the most memorable?
Anywhere from Vietnam to Switzerland, to help them develop broadcast programs. And $8 million in damage done along the Grand Strand. Crazy.
Like, what is so special about this region? All right, what's up? Welcome back to the Behind the Seams. This is Season 4, Episode 4, presented by RipTydz Oceanfront Grill and Rooftop Bar. All right, welcome back. It is Season 4, Episode 4 of Behind the Seams, the off-season season. We are here at RipTydz Oceanfront Grill and Rooftop Bar. We are ground level today, new location for us, and New host. I was getting ready to say, I'm Kristen Call in for Hunter Hornstein. This is Ryan Moore, and joined with us, as has become the off-season tradition, is Ed Piotrowski.
Hey, everyone.
Meteorologist, Chief Meteorologist, WPDE, ABC 15. Is that all of the letters? Did I get them all in there correctly?
Chief only means I get in trouble when everybody else messes up, so it's kind of a fun term.
Yeah, if you've watched any sort of news, if you need to know what the weather is in Myrtle Beach, believe me, you know this man. So thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me. Great to see you guys. Getting ready for another season.
You've been here a while.
Almost 30 years, if you can believe that.
How long did you think you were going to stay when you first got here 30 years ago?
That's a great question. When I got here in January 94, I said I'm going to do my 2 years in this small town, and then I'm going to blow out of here and get a big market job. Here we are 30 years later, still love it, love the area, and have no desire to go anywhere else. It's been a good 30 years.
What is so special about Myrtle Beach, about the Carolinas? Because you've been in some other cities within the Carolinas, right? Like, what is so special about this region?
I mean, you look behind us. This is it right here, this beautiful beach. I mean, here we are in February, and we're sitting on the beach with, I got a jacket on, but you guys got short sleeves on. I just love the area, love the people. Myrtle Beach has grown so much over that time, so much to do for families, including Pelicans baseball, and it's just a lot of fun here. And all my family's within 3.5 hours, so they're not here every day, but they can come for the weekend if they wanted to. So
We also have probably similar feelings on that, where in minor league baseball, it's a lot probably like the TV business, where you spend 2 years here, you take the promotion, you got to move over here and there. But we've also kind of felt that bug that once you get to the beach, it's hard to leave.
Exactly.
And you get the questions, right? Like, where are you going? What are you gonna do? No, I'm good, right? This is fine. So let's shift gears just a little bit. Obviously, still talking weather. You work with the Pelicans. The conversations, and this is, I guess, more of a question probably for you and for Ryan. Talk a little bit about the communication that goes on between you guys during the season if there's potential for rain on a game day.
Well, I'm usually the one to initiate the start of the conversation, and that's typically due to a forecast that's out there, or just eyeballs out the window and saying, should we be worried about this? And Ed has been a tremendous asset to us being able to make informed decisions. And we always say we're never going to be 100% perfect in the decisions that we make. But if we can make the best decision with the best information at the best time, then that's the best that we can do. And having Ed's advice and expertise allows us to confidently be able to make those decisions. And it gives us a layer of credibility that a lot of other teams don't necessarily have. And so I guess then I can throw it on to you, Ed. And when you get those inquiries from us, what's the process that you take?
I really appreciate that you do reach out, because I know those decisions are difficult and it impacts a lot of people. But, for me, it gives me more purpose, if you will, that I know that I'm helping somebody make a difficult decision. And we always think about the safety of the people that are at the ballpark, especially with thunderstorms. But no, I'm glad to help. I'm glad you reach out. And these guys are very weather savvy as well. Don't get me wrong. They pretty much have the answer already. They're just looking for a little bit of backup on that, just in case.
A lot of sport, the PGA,
right?
I'm sure there's more horse racing. They employ meteorologists as part of their staff. Has that ever been a thought in your mind to go down that route?
There's been a couple of different instances where one was actually traveling with a weather company to basically demo weather equipment internationally. And I thought that would be a fun thing to do, but I think that I would get tired of that pretty quickly, being on an airplane so much. Anywhere from Vietnam to Switzerland, to help them develop broadcast programs, which you'd be surprised how far behind a lot of them are. That and just being doing my own thing, perhaps on YouTube or something like that. But I've got all the tools I need at the TV station, so I've never really seriously entertained thoughts of going elsewhere. Now, if New York Yankees come a-calling or the Pelicans come a-calling with a big payday, I might consider that.
We may need to keep it on a consulting basis.
No, we'll do. We have a great relationship here, so that's cool.
Speaking of the Yankees, you're a Yankees fan, right? Big baseball fan. How closely do you follow the team and keep up with everything during the season?
Quite a bit, actually. I was really much more into it in the 90s when they were winning a lot. Last year, I thought first half of the season we were going all the way. We were going to win 100 games, and then the wheels fell off. Typical with the Yankees, they never get enough pitching. They get all these big offensive folks, but you win with pitching. That's the bottom line. And they didn't win last year. So Judge is a phenomenal player. Glad he stayed with the Yankees.
Huge.
Oh my gosh, he is a beast.
I was working in single A or high A baseball in Jupiter, Florida, and he came through, and it was just a man amongst boys, just head and shoulders above. Going back to what you previously said about doing your own thing on YouTube. The weather industry has obviously changed. The sports industry has changed. We never would be doing a social series back then, and having the opportunity to do your own thing on social media was not an option then. How has social media affected your business both positively and negatively?
Well, negatively, everybody now has a voice, which is nothing wrong with that. Some people just shouldn't be able to say whatever they want to say. And people are all brave behind a keyboard for sure. So there's a lot of times people, if a forecast doesn't go a certain way, they'll berate us, but that just goes with the territory. It is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job now because people don't necessarily just tune into newscasts anymore. Let's be honest. They want to see it on social media, on the web, whatever it may be. There's appointment television where people sit down at 6 o'clock. That's pretty rare anymore. So you've got to be a multimedia meteorologist, not just on television. And, people always ask us, do you guys get along with the other people at the other stations? We're not, at least me, I'm not competing against them. I'm competing against people's phones and the web because that's where they're getting their forecast. And that's something that we have to address and know that we are the difference makers, if that makes sense. We have to provide context and perspective that an app can't.
Local media is so important, and national weather is obviously serves its purpose and roles, but in those major events, having that local knowledge and expertise and understanding of past storms and the uniqueness of our area, my parents will tune into those Facebook Lives if we're having something here and say, oh, it doesn't sound like it's going to be too bad. I feel better now after listening to Ed, because they'll hear these wild, outlandish reports that it's just fear-mongering, it's clickbaiting, and the beach is better for you being here.
Well, I appreciate that. And I take it all personally, too. My family lives here. I don't want a hurricane. If I never see another hurricane in my life, I'm fine with that. So I'm always rooting for it to miss us, But I'm also going to try to be the voice of reason and just tell it like it is, let you know if you really need to take it seriously or what you need to do. So that's kind of been what I've built my reputation on, I think. So
hurricane season's never easy, right? But is there a year that maybe was not so bad? And then on the other side of that coin, what was one that you're okay if you never saw anything that came close to that ever again?
I think we all know that from 2015 through 2020, we were impacted by 5 different storms. That was a long stretch, and that's a stretch that I hope we never, ever repeat again. But 2021, I believe it was the year we did the pizza party at Pelicans Stadium, was the one year we didn't have an impact. That was my finest year, the best year we've had, because we didn't have to worry about anything. The worst year for me was probably Hurricane Floyd in 1999. And then, of course, Hurricane Florence was probably at the top of my list. Again, almost a Category 4 forecast to come into the Carolina coast. Weakened considerably, but produced all that flooding that lasted for months. And, a lot of people don't realize 10, 14 days ahead of a hurricane getting here when nobody really cares, we're watching it. And people are asking questions already. So Facebook and web stories, they're already being produced. And then you've got the aftermath, which includes several months of flooding sometimes. So it's just a long, drawn-out process. You feel like you're being stalked by a turtle during hurricane season. So
it's a funny turn of phrase, but it is so true. And I did not know. Basically, 2015 was right after I moved to the area. I was like,
Thanks a
this is
lot.
what it's like all the time?
Maybe it's Kristen's
Come
fault.
on.
It's an annual occurrence. Thanks to Chris.
All right, so let's go into the mug. We've asked, I think, kind of the list of questions that we had coming into this. So let's see what inquiring minds want to know. Oh, here's a good one. All right, which of the Pelicans Ed Piotrowski bobbleheads is your favorite? The blue suit or the green St. Patty's Day one?
You know what? Of all the bobbleheads, there's no doubt the blue one because it was the first one. And I just thought it was the coolest thing that you guys were doing that. So that's still my favorite. And still people will reach out, where can I find the blue bobblehead? I'm like, they sold out. These guys did a great job of marketing it. So it was a lot of fun.
What was your reaction when you saw a life-size bobblehead coming down Main Street in
It
North
might
Myrtle
actually be
Beach?
bigger than life size.
Oh,
That thing
it
It's
is
huge.
7 feet.
It weighs about 500 pounds, too.
There's not too many times that I'm speechless. But I had no idea while we were broadcasting the St. Patrick's Day Parade last year that was going to roll down the street. And then I saw it, I was just like, what's going on here? And everybody told me the story afterwards, but that was quite flattering as well. And we used that big time for giving away our car. Now it sits in our lobby. And there's cameras in our lobby that we see in our newsroom. So people see that and they freak out.
Yeah.
It used to be in our studio, but I would turn around and freak myself out by looking at it.
For a while, it was living actually in Hunter's office.
Oh, poor guy.
And we had it draped because nobody could know what it is. So it was draped in a sheet. And he would walk in, we would walk in his office all the time. So we were glad to get it on the truck and out to the station so we weren't scaring ourselves anymore. That's for sure.
I understand that completely.
All right, let's see what else our viewers, followers want to know. What is a piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to break into the industry or maybe that's just starting out in their career?
I think the most important thing to tell anybody is just be passionate about what you want to do. And if you're really passionate and you're good at what you're doing, the money will come eventually. And just be happy. Make sure that if you're in high school and you want to become a meteorologist, math, science, and English are important. I've got to calculate the temperatures. I've got to understand the science of weather, and you've got to be able to speak clearly and coherently so people understand the forecast. So, and hey, if you're interested in it, just shoot me an email, ed@wpde.com. We'll let you see the station. And we've had people come through and say, yep, this isn't for me, and they've gone on and do something else. That's just as important as getting exposed and wanting to do something.
All right, last question. What weather event that you've covered in your career has been the most memorable?
There's actually 3. Hurricane Floyd, Hurricane Florence, and then, of course, the great Myrtle Beach tornado of July 6, 2001 that literally came ashore near Restaurant Row, went down the beach in front of the Bar Harbor, and eventually dissipated at Spring May Pier. F2 tornado with 150-mile-per-hour winds. 30 injuries, but nobody was killed, and $8 million in damage done along the Grand Strand. Crazy.
Is that the one that went right over your studios?
Yes. That's the one that I saw it, so I got into the bathroom like I tell kids to do all the time during a tornado. And then it's the only tornado I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes develop on 8th Avenue North. And of course, we didn't have the technology back then we did. I didn't have a cell phone or anything like that to even take photos. So I have no photos of my own. Just camcorder videos from
just
everybody.
in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly can't thank you enough for, not only what you do for us at the Pelicans and helping us get as many innings of baseball in as we possibly can. I know a couple of times it feels like we're getting by the skin of our teeth, but certainly thank you for us and for everyone on the Grand Strand for all of the knowledge and information that you continue to share. So,
listen, thank you guys for allowing me to be part of the organization in the small part that I am, but you guys do a great job. Thanks for having me, and let's keep the relationship going until I retire. I'll still help you out.
In for Hunter Hornstein, I'm Kristen Cald. That's Ryan Moore and our guest, Ed Piotrowski. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time on Behind the Seams.